So, I'm here for a follow-up. This is Monday, November 12th, 2018. I'm following up on this person who calls themselves David Kim, who is commenting under this Wmscog 2012 End of the World Phone Recordings Available video, because they're just digging the hole deeper for themselves and admitting that they did teach that 2012 was the end of the world, and they're trying to sugarcoat it to make it seem like it was actual prophecy that had a biblical purpose. But nonetheless, they've been exposed. So I'm going to enlarge this so you can see it again. And I'm going to post this and attach it to the last video I did that was called WMSCOG member accidentally admits that 2012 prophecy was true. So, as you can see here, David Kim, now it's saying 2 days ago, because that was early Saturday morning. He must have been commenting at like 4 in the morning, because I didn't see it till like about 8 in the morning. Anyway, it says, David Kim, the prophecy, and it's talking about this 2012 prophecy. This is the video. Now it's at 1,822 videos. It's probably counting his view, my view, and somebody else's view, I guess, since then. It says the prophecy more than what you're thinking, and he can see that I'm thinking about the end of the world because that's what they taught. The prophecy of 2012 was very, very important internally, meaning inside the church. If you left and didn't bother to know the reason, it worked. So then I responded that same day, I know all about your so-called internal reasons. I was there for years after 2012. If that building of the temple was truly complete, why did WMSCOG tell us to keep preaching and gathering for the temple for several years after 2012? Were we building 2 temples? See, this is the kind of cultish lies that kept me. Let's see. Okay, it's not allowing me to. Oh, yeah, here it is. Just a second. Something about the way you view these replies. But anyway, you saw it on the other video. They kept me and several others under mind control. That's basically what that said. So I want to show you his reply, though, because you already saw that in the other video. This is his reply 1 day ago, which means he responded to this comment of mine. He said, at continuously, LOL. So he thinks it's funny. The temple is not complete. When it is, we are going back to heaven. Now watch this. He says 2012 was a way to weed out those who simply rely on time and not true faith in God. Now think about this here. What does he mean 2012 was a way to weed out those? How did you weed them out with 2012 unless you told them that 2012 was the end of the world? You see that? Before I went to the World Mission Society Church of God, I had never even heard of a 2012 prophecy. You understand? That was the furthest thing from my mind. In other words, let me say it plain. Before I became a member of the World Mission Society Church of God, the year 2012 never entered my mind. I didn't know anything about a potential end of the world that year. So how could I be weeded out with 2012 prophecy unless they taught it to me? So you mean to tell me that God's true church will make up a false prophecy and tell me that the world will end in 2012 just so I can leave? Let's think about that. So you mean to tell me that Jesus Christ would lie to you intentionally to test your faith to see if you will believe the lie when it doesn't come true? He would give you a false prophecy intentionally to see if you believe in him. And if you don't believe that lie and stay past that, now he's weeding out those who simply rely on time and not true faith in God. Do you see this? But the Bible also says that God is not a man that he should lie, which means the Creator doesn't need to lie to you. He speaks truth and only truth. Then he says, I don't need to explain anything more. Yeah, I know you don't need to explain anything more because you know it's going to expose more of your lies. He says, you and I both know that the WMSCOG is the only church on earth that keeps all 10 commandments of, well, you know where that's going, right? For some reason, it's not showing the rest of it. I may have to zoom out or something, but you get the point. let me see. If I alter, let me see. Maybe I should hide replies. Maybe I should go down some. Yeah, so hopefully you can still see it. So he says, LOL, the temple is not complete. I'm reading up here. He says, when it is, we are going back to heaven. 2012 was a way to weed out those who simply rely on time and not true faith in God. I never relied on time before I became a member of the Church of God. Honestly, I believe in Jesus Christ just because you're supposed to, and you're just supposed to obey. That's whether he coming back today, tomorrow, or 100 years from now. That's what I grew up thinking, and that's what I was still thinking when I joined their church. But when they started lying to me and demonizing everybody else like they're doing right here. So in other words, since you lied to me, your church lied to me about 2012, now I'm somebody that doesn't have true faith in God because I didn't stay after I saw your false prophecy didn't come true. Then he says, you and I both know that the Wmscog is the only church on earth that keeps all 10 commandments. I want you to see this is how they talk secretly. But he doesn't know that I'm making these videos and putting him on blast and public display. So that even if he tries to erase these comments later, it's too late because I got you. All right. And it says that they're the only church on earth that keeps all 10 commandments of both the first and the second set of the 2 stone tablets. Because, you know, Moses broke the first set and then he got a new set. And they claim on the back of the tablets were some things written about keeping the feast that nobody else keeps. However, there are several other churches that do keep the 7 feasts in 3 times, and they were keeping them before 1948. The Worldwide Church of God was keeping God's feast back in 1933. But I'm going to say like him. I don't need to explain anything more because he knows that's the truth too. But I'll read my comment now. At David Kim, LOL. Thank you for mocking me after your church lied to me and several other people. I was in Wmscog even beyond the year 2015. Yeah, I was there even after 2015. So I didn't leave. You didn't weed me out. In other words, I didn't leave on January 1st, 2013 because my faith was not based in time. I left because I stayed for years after the fact, and you still tried to sugarcoat and lie. You tried to pretend in 2013, 2014, and 2015, and even after that. I'm not saying exactly when I left because I'm not going to let you try to craftily see which church I left. You understand? Like which location, which so-called Zion, whether it was New York or Tampa Bay. You understand? But I was there even after 2015, and you were still lying and saying that since 2012 was not the end of the world, but the prophecy was fulfilled, that the temple was completed. Then you switched it. Well, that wasn't really the end of the world. That was just the end of the temple completion. You did teach that, and you're a damn liar now for saying that you didn't. So I was in the Wmscog even beyond the year 2015, and I know for a fact that every deacon in my church, every deaconess, every missionary, and pastor who came, all right, even the ones who visited from other Zions, taught the lie that even though the world did not end in the year 2012 like they originally said, the temple was complete. Everyone else, the 7 billion, remember to preach to 7 billion? I guess that's a lie too. When you were told to preach to 7 billion, that's probably around 2014 or 2015. I don't remember exactly which year now. But you get the point. You're probably still saying it now. Everyone else, meaning the 7 billion people on earth that you were told to preach to, were the multitude in Revelation 7, not the 144,000. But you won't tell them that. Of course, they can know that because how can 7 billion be 144,000? It's impossible. So you did teach that. And let's see. You know that what I am saying is 100% true. And you are now lying to try to cover up for the blatant lies you and your church have taught. If you keep all 10 commandments, stop worshiping idols. Nowhere in the Bible does Moses, a prophet, Jesus, or an apostle meaning Moses, none of the prophets like Isaiah, Jeremiah, anybody, or Jesus, or any of the apostles, the disciples of Christ. None of them ever prayed to a goddess. A female god is a goddess, by the way, for you listening. They don't want to call it that because they know the Bible rebukes you for worshiping goddesses because they are idols. Nor do they teach us to pray to a goddess, a female god. If anybody can show me in the Bible where Moses or Isaiah or Jeremiah or Nehemiah or Jesus Christ or Apostle Paul, Peter, John, James, anybody, show me where any of them told me to pray to a goddess. Show me where any of them themselves ever prayed to a goddess and got blessed for it. But I can show you where they prayed to goddesses and they were cursed for it. You understand? So there you have it. This is how they treat you. So according to him, whoever this David Kim person is, the temple is not complete. Well, I believe that. Yeah, because we are the temple of the Most High. So I don't believe their lie that they told. I'm just telling you that they said it was complete in 2012. But me personally, I agree with this. It's not complete. When it is, we are going back to heaven. I also believe that. 2012 was a way. What does he mean 2012 was a way? Now I'm going to blow it back up so you can see these words. What does this Church of God member, World Mission Society Church of God member mean when they say that 2012 was a way to weed out those who simply rely on time and not true faith in God? Does he mean that the Church of God or Unsung Hong or Jerusalem Mother or Pastor Juchol Kim or Pastor Jacob or anybody there? Yeah, I'm calling some of these names because they're well known in the church. Don't make me call the individual names of particular members at particular Zions, so-called, that taught me this, all right? Because I'm trying to respect their privacy. But I can go there if you need me to. 2012 was a way to weed out those who simply rely on time. So nobody was relying on time that I knew because none of them ever heard of 2012 until you lied to them. See, this is how evil people at these churches are. They will teach you a lie that the Bible does not actually say. And then when that lie doesn't come to pass, they mock you and say, oh, well, you just didn't have faith in God, so that's why you left. And we did that as a test. You mean that the Holy Spirit, you mean God told you to lie to me for several years up to 2012? And then after 2013, 14, 15, and whatever years after that I stayed, because I didn't keep believing the lie, now I don't have true faith in God. That's what this comment is saying. So thank you again, LOL. Thank you, David Kim, for mocking me after your church lied to me. Now I know you're the devil the Bible speaks of as well, because only a devil would lie to somebody, and then when the person quote unquote loses faith in what you say is a true church as a result of your lie, you mock them and say that they didn't have true faith. Now, if that's not a devil, I don't know what is. See? But you know what? Since you're running your mouth so much, maybe it's time for me to start telling the names of individuals who taught me this lie. Right? Maybe so. I'm so tempted to put it in this video. I'm so tempted because when I call each individual's name, there's going to be no denying. Each one of them will know that they were also told the same lie. You understand? But I still consider them decent people because they're victims. I don't want to insult them just because you devils are a bunch of lies like this person here. So with that, anybody who sees this video, please like it, share it, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Show it to your family members, your friends, anybody you know that's in this church so they can see how they get treated if they leave this church, right? When you come to the church, they all love bomb you and pretend that they love you. Then when they take your offerings and your tithes and your volunteer work and you're not getting enough sleep, especially if you got a difficult job where you work a lot of hours, I'm going to tell you how this church is. They are so evil that, like, this is November 12th, 2018. If they told you that the end of the world would be 2018, that it couldn't go past this year, and you stayed in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and you finally left because they kept lying about that also, they would say the same thing to you. Oh, you just lack faith. You relying on time. So for the record, I believe in the Most High God of Israel, not based on some time. We're supposed to serve him our whole life, whether he gives us 10 years or 100 years. You understand? Or 120 years. It don't matter to me. But I'm going to let you know, I am offended now. I am offended not because I care about this person's opinion, because I can really see how evil these people are. They simply use your efforts, use your time. You do all the volunteer work and their church gets the credit. You give the money for everything and they give their church the credit. You understand? It's ridiculous, man. This is horrible. But I'm trying my best to maintain my composure because this lying devil has exposed themselves. So I'm going to read this comment one more time. LOL. So David Kim, who is a current member of Church of God, is laughing out loud at me because the temple is not complete like they said. And they used the lie of 2012 to weed people like me out. Even though if they had not told me the lie of 2012, I probably would still be a member. So that's the kind of devil you are. If you had not lied to me, I would have never left. The reason I left is because I started seeing one lie after another, and I started seeing more and more cultish behavior. It wasn't just the 2012 lie that made me leave. If it was, I would have left in 2013. But I was there beyond even after the year 2015. And I'll let you guess and figure out what year I left. But this is November 12th, 2018. So no, I didn't leave just because the 2012 end of the world didn't happen. I left because of that and other cult-like behavior that I saw and that I no longer could deny. So with that, shalom, peace, and blessings to anybody who sees this. Like and share it. And anybody who needs help, we can discuss it. You know what I'm saying? We can help each other. And have a blessed day.